Okay, I took the Mavic Air 2 drone to the park today, and I did a semi-aggressive. I'm setting the controller down right there to show you that I have no control over the drone. It's going to follow me automatically. I have active track set on the drone right now, so it's going to follow any place I go. It has obstacle avoidance, so it will move up and down, side to side, whatever it has to do if something gets in its way, and you'll see it move around here and there when it sees things. It wants to be sure there's nothing that's going to get in the way. I had to be kind of careful. This park is decorated really heavily in the wintertime for Christmas, and there's streamers of lights that are kind of hanging here and there. And a lot of drones, most drones, won't see these really fine. Just stuck my hands in the air to show you that I don't have a controller. But most drones can't see these, and I told it to come on. Most drones can't see fine wires, and they will inadvertently crash into them. I wish I had a GoPro so I could wear the GoPro and then just put that, talk while I'm recording with the drone. And eventually, hopefully, I'll be able to afford to throw one of them into the kit of flying and everything else. But I just keep looking around. There was a squirrel in that tree yelling at me. Probably because I didn't bring any extra nuts that time. And you see how the drone stopped? It stopped when I turned, so it could reassess where I was going. There's a couple of lower branches there. It's looking at them. It didn't really have to go down any. Sometimes it'll lower when uh, when it sees something above it, but it was quite a ways below it anyhow, so it didn't have a problem. Now I'm thinking, where should I go now? What should I do? Let's see. Let's go this way. Let's go to the other end of the park. Go around these picnic tables and get away from that pole now. And you'll see as I come up to this pole, I tapped on it and told the drone don't run into it. It'll see it. I wanted to give it a little bit of test to make sure it knew to go around that, and that's just fine. Driving by the beast of a charger. I did this the other day. I walked with it for 21 minutes and I didn't hit the record button. I do that a lot. I really do. I seem to not start recording. Now I decided to turn here. I don't know why I did. I wanted to go through the. You see how the drone, what it does is it went sideways. Hopefully it assessed everything before it did. It doesn't have obstacle avoidance on the either side or on top. It only has it on the bottom, front, and rear. And the Mavic, the Mavic Pro and the Mavic Pro 2 both have obstacle avoidance, top, bottom, sides, and front and back. And I would love that, but they're pretty up there in price. I, there's the controller on the ground. I picked it up, and what did I pick it up for? Oh, okay. Um, if for some reason, I just give it a thumbs up for being a good boy. If for some reason, the battery gets low and I can't see how low it is, it's going to try and return to home. And I have the return to home altitude set at 180 feet. And if that thing decided it's getting a little bit low on battery life, I better go home. It's going to run into the top of the trees because, like I say, it doesn't have obstacle avoidance on the top, so it wouldn't see anything above it. It's sneaking through these branches here. I'm going to give it a bigger test later on. Go through some really tight areas out in the woods maybe tomorrow. There's the path that I've videoed a few times. It's very congested. And if it comes to a spot where there's just too much stuff, it'll just stop. It'll just stop and sit there, hopefully. Occasionally it'll lose its mind. Like it did up here for some reason. I went over to the picnic bench coming up, and I sat down just to have the drone sit there and, wait for me. But when I got up, it didn't continue. I don't know why. I looked at the controller and I noticed that it had taken the active track off of me. And 2 hours prior to this, I was playing Pokemon in the park. It was community day today. Now I'll sit down here. I set the controller down. I don't think I hit the button. I may have. Well, I'm sitting there waving at a drone. Just sitting there hovering. And when I walked toward it, I realized it didn't back up. So I thought, okay, what's your problem? Why aren't you turning? Why aren't you following me? Now what? So I go back to the controller and I take a look and I see that the active track there's no longer a box around me. And I thought, well, what the heck's wrong with you? How did that go off? Maybe I did when I set the controller down. There's a little X over the box so I just restarted it right there. Um, I'm just leaving that picnic bench. I'm going across the park now. And there's a really low-lying branch up ahead that the drone had to maneuver. It went down quite a ways. Now, if you see me fiddling with the controller, I'm not touching any of the controls. I'm not turning the drone in any way. I'm not controlling the drone in any way. I'm just looking at the screen to see how the video looks and all that. Beautiful day today for flying too. I think they ought to start. I don't even know if there are some drones out there that have microphones on them. But they ought to start having drones with mics on them. Up ahead to the right, there's a low-lying wire, and I think the drone would have a problem uh, avoiding that. It, it might clip one of the rotors or something. That's why I stayed close to the feathers there. I didn't want it to go over. I don't know if it was visible in the video or not. There hangs down to where you can actually touch it. I go back over to the table, but I forgot why. There's the box for the drone and the backpack that I carry it all in, my water. Well, I set the controller back on the table, but I think I will again pick it up because I've already been walking for 8 minutes, 9 minutes, somewhere around there. Now watch how I wanted to do this. I wanted to get it within the gazebo and then go back toward the drone. Now watch it back up. And I'm telling it to back up. What a dummy. And I'm just making sure that it doesn't back up too far or go sideways into one of the trees behind it. And again, I give the drone a thumbs up. Good boy, drone, huh? Yeah, I thought to myself, let's see, let's look at the battery. Yeah, 50, I think it was at 54%, which is fine, but I think I have it set for 35, 54. I even said 54%. I think I have it set at 55 for it to return home, which is kind of weird. Don't really need to go keep that much battery in it. I stopped here because that looked like an alien, a dead alien laying on the ground. I don't know what the heck it was. Could be a pile of dog poop. A lot of people walk their dogs up here, but they clean up after them most often. Seems like the drone went up a little. It looked like it raised a bit here. walking through this area. You know, this really isn't a test for the obstacle avoidance. There isn't that much stuff here. These trees, they can get around these with no problem at all. I guess I just worry. It's my first drone, fairly expensive. My feet are killing me. Been walking the park all day. Straight up ahead there, you'll see a round rock. That is a time capsule. And that's also the Pokestop. Coming up here, you can see that branch up ahead on the path. It's kind of low. And I could have turned around and watched the drone, but I watched it on the control on my phone. My phone is in that controller. Instead, I'll point at it. I point at it to let the drone know. Watch these branches. What a dummy I am. I'm telling the drone to be careful. Now it's going to go down. I am not controlling this. See, that drone would have run into it, but it just says, oh, look out, and it goes right down. Now I give it another thumbs up. Good boy. I wanted to go out and walk on the sidewalk here to the other side of the park, but I got kind of leery of the traffic going by because one time a kid was coming down the sidewalk in front of the house, and the drone saw him from the rear obstacle sensors, and it went at him sideways. I mean, the kid was pretty quick and almost jumped off his bike. He saw it coming. I don't know what the heck caused that. I should have had some music playing in the background. This is boring listening to me. Did a good job. I just wanted to put the controller down on the ground, but once I get halfway on the battery, I don't want it to think to itself, well, I'm getting kind of low. I don't want to be too far from the home point and not make it back. I mean, there's a point with any drone, well, with any of the good drones, you could try and force it to stay away. It won't do it. If it knows that the battery will take so much power to get back home, it's coming home. I'm not real happy with how sometimes the drone just kind of darts ahead a little bit. It'll slow down for a second and then dart ahead. And I'm shutting off the active track here so I can land it. And why I didn't land it directly on top of the picnic bench, I don't know. I decided to land it on the ground between the benches. But if you made it this far, I appreciate you watching. I know it's boring, but it's fun and it's exercise. Get out there and walk and fly the drone. I'm going to take it to a really tight spot this next time and see how it does on that. So until then, I appreciate you watching, and I'll talk all to you later, or I'll talk to you all later.